Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream, to the finale party for Love is Blind Season 9. A chaotic, crazy season with an ending I think a lot of us saw coming, but still completely unprecedented in Love is Blind history, I believe. I haven't seen every international season, but for American Love is Blind, this is the very first time there are no marriages at the finale. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I mean, it was the right outcome. I think a lot of fans kind of breathed a sigh of relief at the end of this finale because it was what was expected. So yeah, welcome to the finale. This live stream has been a tradition on the Miscellaneous channel for a while because usually like the wedding episode, it's just mostly talking about outcomes, and it doesn't really warrant a whole video because not a lot happens. It's just like yes, no, or in this case, no, 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 from all of our couples. But yeah, I'm happy y'all are here. Let me get the chat on the screen. There you go. Thank you so much. I'm glad y'all are here. Isabel, A, Mary, thank you. Yeah, and let me just do the little intro, just in case people are watching this in the future. Welcome back to the Miscellaneous channel, where we do miscellaneous things. I'm Delaney. I typically cover TV, pop culture, internet trends, and other miscellaneous things on the channel, so subscribe if that's your vibe. Yay, I pulled off the intro. I always forget on the live streams. Okay, so season 9 finale, crazy stuff. I also want to talk about the tea that has come out because nowadays the reality TV, it's kind of super annoying, but there's like the podcast circuit instead, like it's like contestants have no patience to get to the reunion, and also reunions are filmed so far back that there's new developments, and so all of the cast members go on all these different podcasts, and as a fan, it's very difficult to kind of keep up with everything. Even for me, that I'm like paying attention to Love is Blind to like cover it and stuff, it's still very hard. I'm like not that invested in these people. They're regular ass people that, I don't know, I'm just kind of more interested in the show and the narrative of the show and what that's trying to portray, and not so much like what happens to these people after the show airs. But yeah, so there is a lot of tea this time around that is going around. That is kind of some big updates. So I want to talk about Sparkle Megan's little development. Some of y'all might have heard about it. I'll talk about it in their section. And also there's been quite a bit of details around Joe and Madison coming out. They weren't even in the finale, but it's just like interesting things that we didn't see. They've been doing podcasts, and Joe's new girlfriend has been doing, like, she did a podcast, and it's just like, she's not on the show, not from the show, but she's an influencer, so she's trying to, cash in on the clout and all that. So I will talk about the tea. We'll talk about these outcomes, and then at the end of these live streams, I like to do like a little time capsule of the season that's just really goofy and silly about like kind of like what items will we remember this season by. So that's kind of the lay of the land. I'm going to go in order and talk about each couple. I'll talk a little bit about, well, first I'll talk about their outcome, and then a little bit about just their general narrative this season, and then the tea that's come out, any new developments. And that's the point in the chat where y'all can add in tea you've heard about them or just opinions on each couple. So I appreciate y'all being here. Sound off when especially if you have tea on that couple we're talking about, put it in the chat and we'll talk about it. Let me just get updated on the chat. Pam says, I was gagged, but also relieved at the outcome. Exactly. Let's be so for real. This finale could have been an email. I felt like that about a few of the episodes. Like, this season started off so good, like so entertaining, so crazy. And then the middle episodes, I was like, I really have nothing to comment on because it's just not that much happened. It was weird. But yeah, and the finale especially. Blood Bible, you're here. The baby Sparkle. Yeah, we'll talk about the baby Sparkle. Crystal Meg. If you think about it, it's actually crazy when people do get married. I agree. I think the concept of the show is crazy that it's gone on this long. I also want to like talk about as we go along, like, is this the beginning of the end for Love is Blind? Should it die? I think there's mixed opinions because there's like the people that are in the camp of like, I just want trashy TV and like a crazy situation to put people in, and then there's the people that are like, I want romance and fairy tale and love. And I fall somewhere in the middle. I think people fall in the middle, but those are kind of the two ends. And I feel like the romance people are like, Love is Blind is dead. They should cancel it. It doesn't work. And it's just kind of like surprising it took this long for something, like for nobody to work out. So it has, just because this season didn't work out, a lot of seasons have worked. And that's kind of the gaggiest thing. And like the couples are still together, they're very in love. They have babies now and stuff. So it's like, you can't write it off because of one season necessarily. But I also see the point of like, it's getting stale, it's getting like very clout chasey. Producers are like, I don't know, maybe casting more dramatic people. I don't know. So there's a discussion to be had. The Bible says, my take is season 9 is terrible, so then season 10 will be romantic for the anniversary. Okay. Yeah, that's a good theory. There's a lot of cities currently casting, a lot of cities in the pipeline, so I don't see them stopping anytime soon. But it is like, I don't know, it's weird after so many seasons, like so many people have, I don't know, they're more self-aware. There's more talk about like what people are like on camera versus off camera. And it's just crazy when I think back on season 1, it's like none of that was really in the conversation, or like someone's here for clout, or like none of that. So it's natural. It happens. The show's maturing. We're coming on season 10. It's going to be a big one, probably. I think it's Boston. We'll probably get confirmation at the reunion. So I know nothing about Boston. I've been there once. But let's get into our first couple. And they were a hero couple. I was kind of gagged. Well, whatever. Okay, let me start. I have a PowerPoint. I'm just switching views. I forgot which. Is it this? Okay, that's this. Okay, first couple. Sparkle, Megan, and Jordan. Starting off with a bang. They were like essentially our hero edit couple, but they did not end like a hero couple. So they were just kind of the closest we had, I guess, because they were the least like obviously toxic. And they just had this thing, this incompatibility, that their lifestyle, she was rich, he was working class, and their outcome was so weird because it was just like that we didn't get a wedding. And I really thought we were going to get a wedding at least, but I'm glad Megan called it before like going, because these other two, especially when we get to KB and Edmund, I'm like, did we need to have the go through the whole charade of the wedding? I mean, I always feel that when it's a no, but for Sparkle, Megan, and Jordan, I was like, okay, at least she called it before, the whole spectacle, and probably his son was going to be at the wedding and all of that. But I have seen a lot of hate already for Megan and like her reasoning for ending this relationship. Miss Anita says, I think Meg romanticized the idea of Luca, but the reality was more real than she expected. And yeah, I think that's exactly it. In the end, she could not get past their lifestyle differences, and it wasn't just necessarily like income. I mean, it all stems from that, but it was him just being a very simple guy, very routine, and the fact that he had a child to care for with diabetes, a condition that's very real that takes extra attention. She did not know what she was in for, and she put all this stock on his diabetes is a sign from above that's like her dad and all this stuff, and didn't like really take seriously when he kept telling her like, this is a difficult thing and you have to adjust your lifestyle to parent somebody. And like and that's the biggest kind of issue here with Megan, is that he from the get had warned her that this was going to be a lot, and that he understood if that's too much for her. Like in the pods, he would say, it's a lot, I'm a father, all this stuff, but I understand if like you don't want to parent a kid right now, or, be a stepmom or step up or whatever. And she romanticized this idea of Luca and being a mom, and she really wanted to be a mom too with him. And then she got in the real world, saw what it was like, and how much work it is, and how much, his world kind of revolved around parenting. And he's a co-parent. He's not even like a full-time single parent necessarily. So it just got too real. And I appreciated the moment where she was like, and she was saying it in kind of like a, like self, I don't know, not victimizing, but like pitying of herself or something, but that she's like, I don't know if I'm cut out to be a stepmom, and I don't know if I'm cut out to be a mother. And I was just like, it's okay. You should think about that. Like, please reflect on if you really want to be a mother. And like, I love that. I think something special about the millennial generation that I've noticed is that like the people I see being parents that are around my age, they're like, I love kids and having kids, and if you want kids, like, you better really want them. Whereas like my mom's generation is very like, that's just what you do. You just have a kid. This is the time you have a kid. And I feel like our generation is a little more like thinking about it, reflecting if it is what you want, and it's okay to not want kids. But then that brings me to like, I mean, she did the reflecting pretty quickly, it sounds like. And she was not caught, I mean, whatever, by the paparazzi, with a baby, apparently. So this is like the tea that came out like a day or two ago, before the finale even dropped. That I guess she had a baby with someone. There was like a bald man holding a baby leaving her house, and he like lives there, it seems like. So that's something. I guess she reflected and decided, yes, she wanted kids. But also, like, you have to keep in mind, she probably had a different idea of raising a kid than Jordan. Like, Jordan was not keen on hiring help, while she maybe is more down. She has the means to hire help for raising a kid to maintain her lifestyle more. So, like, I don't know. It's different approaches here. Yeah, Pam, I know. It's it's crazy. A bald man, yeah. He was holding a baby. I mean, it could be the baby is someone else's. We don't have like full 100% confirmation, but at the reunion, I'm sure she'll either be pregnant. I feel like I've heard that as a rumor or like a tea thing. She might be pregnant at the reunion, or she already had it. I don't know. I don't know when the reunion was filmed. But I think her concerns around Jordan were very valid as well. Like, I do think, and I appreciated that this season, and that's why they got a hero edit, because they weren't toxic. They weren't like disrespectful to each other, but her concerns were fair with him. Like, he was so routine. He wasn't adventurous. He just wasn't interested in anything she wanted to do. And his reasons were valid for that. He was fucking tired. And I think it's a product of like capitalism and all that. And that's why I loved kind of seeing their conversation. But yeah, I think they were both valid. I think for her it was just kind of like she lived in this romanticized fantasy of it for a long time. And the saddest thing about this couple and this breakup was that there was a child involved, and he had met her. And it's kind of sad when they broke up. Jordan's just like sad about it, but then he's just like, well, I gotta go pick up Luca. Like, life, you don't get a break as a parent to like cry or be sad or whatever that your engagement broke up. It's just like, he's got to go, and he's got to find a way to like explain it to him in an age appropriate way and all this stuff. And it's just kind of like, that shit's real. And yeah, so I don't think A says, I think it's because she clearly wants to have a traditionally gendered relationship and maybe thought his working class reality wasn't as unglamorous as it is. Yeah, I mean, she did talk about being traditional. They're both rumored to be conservative. We don't have, like, confirmation on that either, but yeah, I think it was just like, it just all got too real, and she was living this, like, rom-com city girl falls in love with the lumberjack small town guy, but in real life it doesn't it doesn't work, and she doesn't get unglamorous for him. um and I think it all just kind of dawned on her, and it was like, where she was out. I think it was a little dragged on, a little late, or it was a late, because earlier her tune was very like, something catastrophic has to happen for us to break up. So she really was like in the fantasy. But I mean, he wasn't, he didn't want to talk about his job. He was too tired, and like his reasons were valid, but it wasn't giving her enough to like fight for him. I don't know. I this is one couple, like, I don't really want to demonize, because I think they both had like valid reasonings. I think there was some collateral damage that's unfortunate. But a Titanic kind of couple, yeah, poor little rich girl. And yeah, I mean, you have to wonder if Rose and Jack made it off the boat, would they have worked out? um, I mean, obviously, sure, but yeah, we kind of saw it coming the whole season. That was their narrative the whole time. These differences, she got swept up in the he's different. She said she got swept up in the opposites attract mentality, and it's like, girl, you playing with real emotions, but okay. And I think I related to him more in general just because of his income status. But I do think she had her valid reasons, and it's better before the wedding, at least. At least she didn't get to the altar in front of the kid and say no. And that probably played a part in why they didn't do the spectacle of the wedding. So, yeah, I'm very curious what tea we're gonna get on her at the reunion, and like the new guy and the baby. Um, yeah. But I mean, they were a couple. We'll always remember his chicken smoothie. The catastrophe was that he couldn't play tennis at 10 a.m. Yeah, exactly. Tragic. That's Sparkle, Megan, and Jordan. I think at least they filled in that spot this season of like the couple that was healthy ish. like they had romance and good moments, whereas most other couples were just like fight after fight after fight, like fight, make up, fight, make up. So they gave us something. I've also seen now he's like trying to capitalize off his run on the show and putting out a children's book inspired by his child. So, that's just how the cookie crumbles for Love is Blind folks. But yeah, she might have a baby. That's crazy. Okay, next couple. Oh, these are the photos. I forgot to put them in. Okay. These are the photos of the man and the baby. I felt okay putting it in because it doesn't show the baby's face or her house. I don't know. Like, this is a world we've come to where, like, paparazzi stalking Love is Blind people. But I guess this was a pretty big bomb for this season. But these was the incriminating evidence. Allegedly. Sorry that it's kind of... I try to put the spoiler alert, but it was... I thought it was a mistake, but this is all kind of spoilers for the finale or the reunion next week. But it's on them for waiting a whole week to give us the stupid reunion. I wonder if she knew she was pregnant during filming. I think it was filmed further back, I would think. There's no way. There's no way. That'd be crazy. Okay, next couple. Gosh. Allie and Anton. I had a feeling with them that she was gonna say no. Oh, Isabel, he's really bald. Yeah, I told y'all. I I described it because I was like, I took out the pictures. I thought I didn't put the pictures. Also the scale, sorry, she's like so much bigger than him. Whatever. Um, I had to, I rushed these. So Allie and Ant, I mean, we saw it coming. Um, so we did get some bachelor parties. Which was, it was really quick at the beginning, almost just fully a montage. Um, and she had some moments at the bachelorette party that were weird to me a little bit because she was talking with her friends or her roommate or whatever, and the roommates were just worried that he was a truck driver. And I'm just like, girl, this is the least of the worries. Like, he has a stable job that pays okay, according to Allie. But, like, that's what the roommates are worried about. And Allie was kind of saying, oh, I can't really trust Melissa. She's only been the girlfriend for 3 months. Like, what does she know about Anton's past and past party boy lifestyle? And I'm just like, girl, you've been around 2 weeks. Like, I think she knows more. She's been around 3-4 months. So that was weird. Like, I thought she would be concerned about the drinking or just like the deception around the drinking. And that wasn't even mentioned as a concern in that conversation. And yeah, truck drivers are actually well paid. Like, yeah, exactly. And yeah, like, it was giving very, like, I mean, she had kind of shown it through the season, but that she is kind of like perhaps down for a sugar baby lifestyle or situation, or trophy wife, whatever you want to call it. And that he wasn't rich enough in her friend's eyes to kind of provide that, and that's kind of her priority. So I just thought that was weird. But then eventually, once we get to the wedding prep and the altar, her mom brings up the drinking issue and just like his habitual drinking as a concern, and I was finally like, good, somebody mentioned it. And then she says no because of that, or she cites that as the issue, and that it sounded like he overplayed like having healthy habits in the pods, and that he wasn't the person he had promised in the pods kind of deal. So I don't know if it came down to his job or like if that played a part in it, but and in the end it was this deception around the drinking, which was a big red flag. It was weird, like, we can't label him anything, but he was lying, and lying about something that could easily be disproven. So it's kind of like, I don't know. Good riddance. Like, she might be after money, but I mean, with her looks, she can get it. She can probably find it. Her friends both giving her advice, and then they're both going through a divorce. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, the friends were weird. They were not focusing on the right things, in my opinion, but it does seem to be like her values, and like the people she hangs around with are like those types of people that are concerned with what is he providing. Very traditional. That was the thing with this couple and why they were compatible, I think. because we saw them a lot say, we are so alike, we're this exact same person, all this stuff. And I was always like, how? Like, what are the things that you're so alike on? I don't know, they didn't really show us, but I do think they were very kind of traditional conservative in their values, like gender roles wise and all of that. That's just the vibe. But yeah, so I was glad she said no. He said yes, by the way. I didn't mention that, but he was all in. I mean, he was fine with providing for her. That's probably his traditional values. And her looks are great. um, and that's about it that he cared about that we saw. So it's all for the best. I'm glad. I don't think there was any. I haven't seen any tea on them outside. If you've heard anything. Oh yeah, and his. After she said no, she was pretty sad, like to have hurt him. But his sister was like, she's a cold-hearted bitch, which is nasty, I guess. But I don't know. I feel like as a family member, I would probably say that about anybody just to like comfort my family member in that kind of situation. It was just kind of a funny moment. I did hear on a recap of a comment of a podcast, whatever line, that he did have another connection in the pods, and I don't know who it was with, but they had made them seem like day one, immediate engagement, no other connections. But that's not really interesting to you or like means anything to us, because I don't know if anything came of that. Okay, next. Our other mess of a couple. I mean, Ali and Anton, at least, they didn't have fights. They had conversations and then no resolution, so I never knew where they stood. But they didn't have fights. And this couple, Callie Bria and Edmund, had a lot of fights this season, a lot of makeups. It was rough, and for them, I'm just like, why did they have to go so far? It's tough. And there has been a discussion throughout the season about like the ethics of producers putting Edmund on the season. It feels like exploitative with kind of his background and just his like reactiveness. It just feels like, I don't know, putting him on TV to like make fun of him or embarrass him in some way. And that's tough. Like, it's a tough thing with reality TV that as fans we have to reckon with. It's like reality TV has always been exploitative. That's by design. It's kind of what people want to see. People want to see, I don't know, it's very like, it's the worst of these shows are like a lot of the TLC shows, like the Hoarders and those shows, like Strange Addiction, 600-Pound Life, like those shows that exploit people's real lives and real problems and things for entertainment purposes. That's kind of like bottom of the barrel of that style of reality TV, but it's a spectrum and there's a threshold like that I think audiences have. I mean, those shows have a lot of fans, and it's a hard thing because on Love Is Blind we know they go through a psych eval that's very long and whatever, and they are grown adults that decide to sign up for the show, whatever. But so in theory, he passed the psych eval. He's a grown adult, consented to all of this. Um, but it's hard. I think for some people, this casting choice, it kind of crossed their threshold of like, it feels mean spirited to exploit him in this way. I think it's kind of a polarizing thing. And yeah, seeing this finale, it's tough to watch. I think it was hard to see. Or yeah, Pam says she wishes she didn't take it all the way to the altar. Exactly. Like, he seemed very, like, he came in, I don't have cold feet, I have hot feet, I'm ready. He was so all in, kind of seemed very blindsided, which was the word of the season, um, by her decision. And I don't know why she waited. It kind of seems like she knew. I mean, she knew from their early fights. Their early fights were rough, and they were still fighting through the whole season. So it was just like, I think she knew. Um, and he just has such a tough background. He had nobody there from a family perspective, really. And we saw a lot of scenes with his fifth grade teacher, who has been the only kind of stable adult in his life, um, which is like so tragic. Like, I imagine teachers see this kind of thing, not often necessarily, but it's some, like, they encounter students like this, and it's so tough to see like a kid who's has no fault have parents that can't take care of them, be in foster care, like food insecurity, all this stuff. It was tough. It's tough to hear about all that, and I do think he's on this line of it's tough, and it feels more exploitative than entertaining. Um, it's weird because, I mean, you can't sue them. He in theory must have passed the psych eval, and as boring as it is, I would love to know like what goes into that. Is it actually stringent? Is it just like, well, I'm sure it's bare minimum to cover their ass liability wise, but I just wonder because from what I've heard, like in Lauren and Cameron's book I read, the the psych eval is really intense. It's a lot of questions. It's all this stuff. So I don't know. It's a weird one, and it was sad. Yeah, that it was at the altar, and she tried to like reassure him, like, it's not because I don't accept you. It's not because I don't love you. Like, she tried her best. I mean, her background is social work, so I feel like she kind of understood his abandonment trauma and was trying to minimize damage, but also like taking it to the altar is really not minimizing the damage at all. And then at the end, she's like, "You're a stepping stone in my story," and I'm like, "Girl, that's that's a lot to say right now. Like, just keep it to yourself on that one. That did not need to be said out loud." Um, let's see. The chat is saying things. And yeah, Lenore says she was repeating it over and over. I thought she was going to say yes. At the altar, yeah, it started out like, I was like, oh my God, are they going to say yes? And they're going to be our hero couple? Oh my God. I was like scared a little bit. And then, because she started kind of like a typical yes speech. But Bible says on the vows, he was sounding like trying to convince her. And when she didn't include anything about the future, I was like, oh, yeah. It was very weird how KB kept saying she loved him. Yeah, I feel like they always default to this in the breakups, the saying I love you, like Casey and Patrick throwing it back to them. Like, she didn't love him at all. Like, that was bizarre. So this was kind of like in a similar way almost. Lenore, super mean spirited when you show him saying he eats his boogers. They put him on the show to get views for the drama. Yeah. I'm sure they thought people would laugh. So gross. Yeah. Yeah, it is. A says it is tough because he is so manipulative, in my opinion, and she expressed how different he is on and off camera, but he's also clearly in Arrested Development. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like demanding sex and saying, everyone, like, he's not without any kind of faults this season. He's not a child that is innocent. You know what I mean? Um, so, but yeah, the casting does feel it's on that line. It was all Casey Patrick homage. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was tough to see him, and when he was like, I tried everything, I even tried this, I'm like, I mean, he has a point. The people that go on the show have been dating and have tried the apps and all this stuff, and I imagine that's a hard world for him to navigate too. Ugh, it's that was tough to see, and like, yeah, this guy, it just he has such a rough background. It's so tough. It's so tough, and like his mom wasn't there. She was going through her issues probably. Um, it was tough. I mean, I wonder. Oh, they're gonna be a mess at the reunion. Like, yeah, he shouldn't have been put on TV, probably. And I don't know how he passed the psych eval. Because I keep going back to that of like, well, the producers just need a pass, and they're like, good to go. It's a tough one. And for them, I haven't heard any tea. I don't want to hear any tea, to be honest. Probably at the reunion, I imagine he'll confront her and be like, why did you take me to the altar? I'm just worried at the reunion he's going to be, reactive and just making things worse. Like, he just needs less screen time, at this point. We've seen a lot of him. Mary says, I appreciate his teacher being so sweet to him. Yeah, that was like a nice thing to see in this finale. They actually got a decent amount of screen time. It's nice he has someone in his life, but that's so tough. That was tough to watch. Like, for Allie and Anton, like, Anton was sad or whatever, but, he was going to be fine. He was eating at the buffet table. He was saying, like, this sucks, but eating his croissants, But Edmund was, like, devastated. And it was not. It was hard, and they were complicated. A says, I think they're starting to prioritize putting characters in the U.S. version. Also, people from Denver seem to think they were super, super desperate for contestants for the season. I don't know how true that is. I wish them both well, but yes, reunion will be tough to watch. Yeah, because I feel like she'll be, like, defensive about her decision to go to the altar, and he'll be like, why would you do this to me? And he'll be emotional, because he's always emotional. Annalise says, I need confirmation on whether Patrick ever drank with Anton, or if that was a lie. Right? I think they did, but I don't think they drank the beers from the fridge. I think they went out for drinks. More drinks. That's my best guess. I wonder if we'll see that at the reunion. Okay, so those are all our couples for the weddings / breakups. Next, I want to talk about just our other couples, final thoughts on everyone, going in backwards order of breaking up. Madison and Joe, I want to talk about their little tea that has come out here and there on podcasts. I think, so Madison did a podcast or two, and then Joe's current girlfriend, who is an influencer, named Avery Madison. So Madison and Avery Madison. Avery Madison, she did a podcast as well, talking about Love is Blind for some reason. Okay. Oh, Lenore, you like Joe's new girlfriend? Did you did you follow her before this? Okay, so the tea is actually that Joe was flirty with Casey. And I think they had a connection in the pods as well. I don't remember that part, but apparently Casey was very flirty with Joe, or they were flirty kind of at a Pod Squad after party, which I found very interesting because Casey was not at the Pod Squad party. So she went to the after party, but she didn't have the balls, as usual, to face Patrick and everyone else at the actual on camera Pod Squad party. Um, so that's interesting because apparently after camera stopped filming, Joe and Casey dated for a little bit. And then, so that was something. Casey and Patrick. So they dated for a little bit, and then he got with the Avery Madison influencer girl, and then apparently Casey was still trying to get with him and being super flirty with him while like being two-faced, basically, like being really nice to Avery to her face and saying you and Joe are great together, all this stuff. But once Avery like left the party, she was trying to get all up on Joe and like get him to cheat or whatever. So Casey remains like she is so. Oh my god, she's wild. Like she came on the show for clout because this ex or boyfriend or whatever encouraged her to, and then she gets engaged, she dumps the guy for his looks, but doesn't dump him, but then strings him along via text, then doesn't give the ring back, then starts to date Joe, then flirts with him, Casey, and then she never shows her face to the camera at any point. So she's gonna have a lot of answering to do at the reunion, though I don't trust the Lachey's to like press her at all or even be up to date on any of this tea. Like, for all I know, the Casey Avery stuff happened after the reunion. I don't even know. So yeah, Casey just looks bad, but Joe is not without fault. Joe is the like the biggest mystery to me is why all of these women are trying to get with average Joe of all people. Like, he's whatever. He made me mad all season. He was just giving nothing. He seemed very shallow, just into looks. Casey ended up a full sleazeball, yeah. Casey is her own show. I know, I'm like, where's that show? We need that mess. So, yeah, I don't know why these women are tripping over themselves to get with Joe. And also, you know, is Joe pushing Casey off his lap when Avery's gone? Is he inviting it? I don't know if he's like blocking her number because Avery says Casey kept trying to text him to like gauge where he was at with his relationship, see if she had an in, you know, that kind of thing. So I don't know. From what I've seen of Joe, I don't think he's without fault, of course. And I don't understand why these women want him, but you know, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. And Madison has also said in her podcast that apparently when cameras were down, Joe was much more reassuring to her, more happy. It was, and that's why she felt like very mixed signals, because when the cameras would be down, he was a lot more like all in with her and just kind of giving off good vibes about the wedding and the marriage and wanting to do it. And that when cameras were up, he would act weird and he would always be like trying to talk to producers and stuff like that. So that was another thing on Joe. And yeah, I mean, it's tough because this reunion is very strange to me because, like, without having a couple that got married, it's kind of like we don't have that little suspense thing they do. That's like, are they still together? Um, and I feel like if everyone broke up, it's kind of like, well, what do we care about this reunion? Like, what do we care? You know, they're all dating new people, they're all doing new influencer things and careers, and like, okay. There's no, like, there's nothing to be resolved, really, in any of these cases, um, in my opinion. I mean, the only thing we want to know is did Megan have a baby? Uh, who's the bald man? That's about it. That's all I want to know. Love is Blind must have essentially no NDAs because we all know everything already. I know. Maybe she figures this will still get her attention one way or another. Oh, Casey? Yeah, that's a good point. Honestly, probably, yeah. Imagine calling off your wedding and then less than a year later going on a show to get married to a stranger. Right. That was Joe. That's crazy. She could honestly like him, or he'd be the easiest. Yeah, I mean, maybe she saw Joe as the easiest, weakest link, Casey, for getting in there, while also meeting her attractiveness threshold, of course. Maybe they'll lean in hard on the past couples. Reunion is going to be a big ol' he said, she said, exactly. Yeah, I think they will. The I wonder if they're gonna bring in the Hamiltons because they just had a baby. And Love is Blind loves that. They posted a whole feature on their website about Lauren and Cameron had their baby. There are the hero couple of all hero couples. Um, Also, when I did the little watch party thing, there was like a little, like, it was just like a early preview of episode 10, and there was a chat and there was the deleted scenes. That's where I saw that, and the deleted scenes are up now, by the way, if you were curious. But in that little watch party, they showed a clip of the Lachey's, like, introducing it, and they showed a clip of like the couple from Love is Blind UK, and I was like, what are they doing here? um, but now it makes more sense because we didn't have any good couples this season. So they brought in Kieran and Megan. Was she a Megan too? Kieran, yeah, the couple from the last season of UK that was really cute. So they're probably gonna bring them for the reunion because I think they filmed the little clips, like introing the episode at the reunion. That's my guess. So yeah, they'll bring in the UK couples for reinforcement. Um, Maybe who was? Oh yeah, the Christmas couple last season, season 8. Um, I wonder if they'll bring in what's his name, Joey and Sarah from last season. They were not together. I feel like they're probably blacklisted because they went off script in their life, but they're also like they met on Love Is Blind. It's kind of weird. Um, they were engaged to other people last season and then got together after. Oh yeah, AD and Ollie. They love AD and Ollie because they were on Perfect Match. Then they were pregnant. I don't know if they have had their baby. I don't think so. I think she's pregnant now. Honestly, not a fan when they bring back the old couples. I know that, but they're gonna have to. Will the Lachey's address the drinking problem speculations about Anton and Annie? Yeah, I don't. I think it's probably touchy, and I wonder if, like, can you sue people for that? And, like, slander or something if. Well, they'll probably have to tiptoe around it, is the point, and they'll probably have answers ready. Because, yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're ready to admit to a problem here, if there is one. And AD is paid by Netflix to run What's the Reality? Right, the podcast. Yeah, I think they're just going to bring in all the reinforcements, and they'll probably focus a little bit on, like, next season and maybe bring in people from next season like they've done before. Do a little preview or whatever. But yeah, that's this reunion. I'm like, there's really nothing much going on. Old couples are boring because it's all self-advertising for legitimacy. Yeah. They're banking on Meghan's big reveal, and we all suspect it's a baby. Yeah, that's going to be the one bomb, I feel like. But I guess, I mean, there are couples we just don't have a lot of tea on, so I guess we'll hear about, like, if they're dating. But I'm always like, I don't care. Like, they always ask, like, who is single, who's with somebody, and I'm like, good for them. Like, who cares if they're with somebody, if they broke up. Like, they're allowed to be with someone else. Okay, Nick and Annie. Really not much to say about this couple. I haven't seen any tea on them, really, and they broke up a while ago. I think it's all been said with them. Yeah, he was weird. I mean, I'm interested to see how he handles the reunion, just because he's kind of weird, and I mean, he's gonna be very, like, rehearsed and calculated. He's very, like, he kind of has his script down, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe Annie will give us some unhinged reunion moments. We'll see, because she's a little wild. They have been on so many podcasts this season. I feel like we've already had a preview. Yeah, what a weird way to go into a reunion. Yeah, very weird. Nick and Annie. I did see Nick kind of early on apologized for his homophobic comments online. So at least he didn't double down. I don't know. I don't know that he has too much hope here, but he made like a post that, like, a reel or something, and saying like a listening and learning kind of apology. Standard. Oh, there's big T on Annie. What's the big T? Her ex-boyfriend just came out saying he had to press charges against her and that she was on house arrest for some time. Oh my god. That sounds like something the reunion's not going to touch on. They're scared. Lenore says, from now on, every future season, the singles know that they don't have to follow through with the marriage. I can't believe there wasn't even one. Yeah. That's wild, though, about the ex-boyfriend. I mean, Annie was unhinged from what we saw, or just, like, these fights made no sense, and Nick was kind of doing all the right things. Like, it's kind of what all the other girls were asking for from their guys. And yet, she was just, like, picking fights. Very, very strange. She was so strange, because she would just be like, I love you so much, and then be like, you don't, like, just basically fully drove him away. Okay, last but not least. I mean, we already talked about her. She's kind of the off-screen main character of the season. Casey and Patrick. Patrick, no updates, whatever. But, oh yeah. A says, I also think the reunion won't address any of the racism or conservatism in a meaningful way. Definitely not. They're not going to. Right now, mainstream media wants to normalize that stuff a lot, I think. And they're trying to, like, this is a show for the masses, for the mainstream. And conservatism and all of that is mainstream right now. And they're not going to they don't want to rock that boat. Even though it's, like, absolutely wrong and fucked up. And it's not difference of opinion. But also, I think, like, this whole cast, mostly, like, aside from Anna, way back when she left, like, day 2, almost everybody is likely of those values. I think Love is Blind draws in those kinds of people, traditional people, conservative people, and so it feels skewed, like a skewed representation of the populace, in my opinion. Because especially, like, Denver is a very liberal place, and many Denver and Coloradoans have been like, these people don't represent us, please. And I believe them, don't worry. But yeah, so they're not gonna address that stuff. But Bible says, I think the editor team was cool though. They did show everything, even if the cliches will gloss over issues. Yeah, I mean, they're just hoping the edit speaks for itself, or like let the contestants speak for themselves, even though they're still blaming the edit for the edit making them homophobic. Sorry, these guys. When I'm like, you said what you said. We heard the full sentences. Like, I'm pretty sure we heard enough. The right wing people tendency probably starts in casting too. Yeah. I also want to know why they didn't even ever put mics and cameras in the apartments. That way we don't have to come in on a scene of a fight we didn't see or hear. We could actually see the fight. Yeah, I mean, that's always a thing. This season it was like, I think, better than others on showing us most things. There have been other seasons where like everything happens off camera and it's like I lose track of what's going on. I think it's part of what makes season 5 so difficult to watch and still the worst season of all time. Like, this season is not the worst season at all. I mean, it's bad, but it was entertaining, and that's something. So, like, no, it's not nowhere near the top, but it's still like, I prefer this over like a super boring season. Like, even last season, the Minneapolis, that was so dull. So boring. Even though like there was only one successful couple out of it, it was still like, I don't know. The drama was not entertaining. So it's just luck of the draw really, but for the most part, these guys were entertaining as well. Okay. Yeah, Casey, she's trying to get any way she can get in there, get in the spotlight without being with a like not to her standards attractive guy. OMFG, it's mirrors. Madison and Joe had already broken up the night prior and then they made them redo it. And you can definitely tell it ain't an organic argument. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, a lot of times, well, yeah, we did get her at the beginning saying, like, Joe told me I'm not his person, blah, blah, blah. So they didn't catch that one on camera. But compared, Miss Anita says, once the season's over, I totally forget these people. I'm with you. That's why when, like, or that's why I can't be, like, a Love is Blind News, like, all the time person, because I'm just like, the season's over, I'm done with that. Like, let them go back to their regular lives or be influencers, whatever. But yeah. Okay. Time for our time capsule. And it's interactive. I make these time capsules kind of off the top of my head from covering the season and just like items that I find represent it. But I always miss things, so feel free in the chat to add your own items that go in the time capsule. I got this idea from a podcast called All Right Mary, and they do it for RuPaul's Drag Race. And they're just audio, so they just do it whatever, by audio. But in these streams, it's fun to do a little. Imagine being dumped and you have to do it again. I know, poor Madison. Annie's funny enough, Miss Anita. Annie's extensions are here. Okay, so ready? I'm gonna reveal. I didn't have time to like do object by object. So, yeah, these are good predictions. I put them all in here. Okay, let's start from the top. Of course, the thing that will be the most memorable this season, the chicken smoothie with the crystal light. Absolutely, that's what they're gonna remember from this season. Let's go top to the right. left to right. The hat, just because they had so many Western themes this season, and it was bizarre to me. I'm not saying Colorado doesn't have any kind of Western vibe to it, but I'm from Texas. Like, save it for Texas. Come on. Um, but yeah, and also like in an homage to Joe saying Nick's hat was good, even though he hated Nick. That's the hat. Oh, I had to throw in Carly Rae Jepsen's emotion, even though it was for an angry reason that is here. I was upset they wasted Runaway with Me for a Madison and Joe scene. I knew that couple was doomed from the beginning, and that's one of the best pop songs of all time. So throwing it in the time capsule, I don't care. A diabetes awareness ribbon, just because honestly, diabetes carried Megan and Jordan's relationship a lot because she believed it was such a big sign from above and all this stuff. And it just played such a big part. It was putting a lot of pressure on diabetes here to keep these two together, and it couldn't in the end. But I think that's important. And then, of course, the alcohol, a 12-pack of nondescript beers, a 12-pack of Coors Light, and a bottle of tequila. That was like the amount Anton drank in 10 days, I believe. So there you go. The Denver mountains, just something to commemorate the setting, of course, and where Nick lives, I guess. Okay, coming back down, the crop top sweater, of course, in Nick's closet. I think that was key. This is from the actual listing of this sweater. The PS5, that's actually a PS4 in Joe's apartment. And yes, the hair pick and rollerblades for Edmund. I appreciated his hair pick style and his style in general. He was very stylish from the cast reveal. I appreciated just, he really had a point of view with his styling. And then the Range Rover is actually the car Megan drives. That was from a deleted scene where she mentioned Jordan met her friends, and they talk about her Range Rover. So it wasn't really mentioned in the show, but it was like a whole moment in the pause where she was like, I don't want to tell you what car I drive. It's so fancy. All of that. And then the Bible. The Bible has been here since I started doing these time capsules, probably like season 6. So, oh my god, no. Don't restart my computer. I was so worried it was going to restart. Okay, the Bible has been here. I think this show attracts very traditional, conservative people, and that overlaps quite a bit with Christianity. And then, of course, Annie's extensions had to be here. I also made note of them from the cast reveal and the trailers, because that was like the first thing I could identify her by when I was trying to learn people's names. I was like, the girl with the wig. Who knew she would be so infamous? But yeah. Okay, so y'all said I found the missing bottle of tequila. A baby seal like Patrick could be included. Yes. Yeah, I couldn't think of something for Patrick and Casey, so that's a good one for them. A baby seal. Yeah, because they didn't have anything in their breakup. I was just like, there wasn't something iconic that was symbolic of that moment. So yeah, this is the time capsule. A weird ass season. The weirdest season for sure. I will give it that superlative, as I said in my first video, weirdest season by far. Very bizarre. Episode 6 of this season And season 9, episode 6 is the wildest episode of Love is Blind, I think, ever. It's when, like, it's the post-pool party episode with KB and Edmund fighting at the end about the sex and his crash out about that. What did it start? It starts with something big too. Oh, the Casey and Patrick weird ass breakup. The party. Oh, and the Joe Incoherent scene. And Madison. Yeah, that episode was when I told everyone I knew, like, okay, this season's worth watching, because my friends are kind of like in and out of this show sometimes. Like, they don't watch every season, and I watch it like right away so I can make videos, and I'm the first to tell them, like, okay, this one's worth watching, this one's not worth watching, this one's boring. And I got to episode 6 and I was like, okay, all of y'all have to watch it. It's insane. So honorable mention to episode 6 of this season. But Bible says, anyone else loved the ending of the chapter with one of the wedding speeches by the marrying person over scenes? Oh my God, I loved the end. Yeah, that was good. I appreciated the voice. It was like a voiceover. And then it ended with Flowers by Miley Cyrus. And I was like, okay, this is good. Let's all find independence and self-reflect. I like this plan. Yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, good ending song. Good songs this season. I loved the needle drops. It's kind of like a weird thing, I feel like, for the fandom, because we got very used to our, cheesy narrating the action songs on Love is Blind. They were kind of iconic. But I love a good needle drop, like of a real pop song that's like current, or like, in the consciousness, and it's just like the perfect moment for it. So I'm into the budget for the music. Yes, mourning the cheesy tracks from before, but man, the Man-Child needle drop was great. Run Away With Me pissed me off, but lots of big songs. The use of Carly Rae Jepsen was bad, but other music choices were great. Man-Child. Oh yeah, Anxiety. Thank you for reminding me. That was such a good montage, and was kind of great foreshadowing for how the season went. But loved the Anxiety montage. It's like at the end of probably not episode 6, maybe episode 7. The Bible says, I prefer not to have songs mixed with this because songs are more important to risk bad association. But Man-Child was great. Also E.T. They played E.T. I remember they played Dark Horse. I don't know about E.T. I love E.T. Or is that a different E.T.? Yeah, I guess it's better. The needle drops work better when it's like a negative song, like a song about a negative thing, like Man-Child or Anxiety. Like the Bet Flowers, like these are about breakups. When it's like wasting like a great love song on a toxic couple, it's like, no, how dare you? So I think they can mess with that. But for the reveals, it's fun, I think, to have the more positive ones, I guess. Sorry, it was Dark Horse, my bad, I mixed it up. Yeah. Love both of them, both great tracks. Meredith says, I'm so glad Megan broke up with Jordan. She was really thoughtful and caring about it. I know Jordan regretting introducing her to a song, but he's pretty young. He'll bounce back. Yeah, I think better late than never. Or better late than at the altar, I guess, is the saying. Altered for Love is Blind. No pun intended. Yeah, wackadoo season. Wackadoo. So crazy. I don't know what's the plan for this reunion. I will be here streaming in a very similar fashion. It'll be more like hot take, like just what happened at the reunion kind of deal, because they released the reunion at night. So I'll have to watch the reunion first and then I'll come on stream. I will probably come on later. I'll start stream later at probably like 10 p.m. Central Time because I have something else going on before that. And I won't be home till like 9:30 probably. Um, but I'm going to watch the reunion while I'm out doing something else and try to take my notes and try to, I'll be ready at 10. I won't be watching it on live. And yeah, it's going to be weird. It'll be casual and chill because this reunion I don't think is going to be great. I think it's going to be kind of a whole lot of nothing, and the podcasts and stuff have given us so much already. We kind of know. I just feel like the reunion won't even touch that much on those things. Let's see. Miss Anita says, I think if Jordan had not introduced the song to Megan, she would have continued to live in the fantasy. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Definitely. It had to happen. It's unfortunate she, I don't know, got a dose of reality, but yeah, he'll bounce back, like you said. Kind of broke my heart when she said she didn't know if she could be a mom and still live her life. But I give her props for being so honest and vulnerable. Yeah, I liked her reflecting on that. I think it's important too, if you want kids, really want them and really, like, think about it. And, I mean, she might be a mom now. And good for her. Good for her. If so, that's the thing we're going to be waiting for at the reunion. We'll talk about it then. This was a fun ride. I appreciate all the support, and it was like a fun run of videos. I did one more video than I usually do, just because there was a lot going on, and just the release schedule is always different, so they're always kind of like keeping me on my toes. The reason I have something planned for next Wednesday night is because they always release the reunion on a Sunday night. In the past few seasons, and now they threw a curveball at me again, and now it's Wednesday. Like, normally the reunion should be this Sunday night, and I was ready to do so, to live stream, and now they messed up my schedule. But anyway, so that's the plan. I'll be here at 10 p.m. on reunion night, and we can chat about it, whatever. Yeah, I appreciate y'all being here and in the chat. These are always like my most attended live streams, so it's really fun to have people here and talk to y'all directly. I don't really keep up with the comments well on these videos just because it's like a lot, and I have to like put my whole life on hold when I make a video. So when I publish a video, I have to like go back to my life and do chores and clean and do social things and, kind of get my life together for the next, and then more episodes drop and the cycle begins again. So that's the behind the scenes tea there. And today, a couple days ago I posted a video about Project Runway, and it's randomly doing really well today, which I was not expecting. It was kind of a bonus video I recorded right after the last Love is Blind video, because I just had a lot to get off my chest about Project Runway. This last season was so, if you're not in the fandom, they changed networks and they made a lot of weird, bad changes to the show, and I just had to get it off my chest. And it's cool. I was hoping I would find like the Project Runway community, because that's not really my audience necessarily, and it looks like it did. So I'm really happy about that. And if you're one of the overlapping fandom people, thank you. That was exciting to see. And yeah, let me know what other shows are popping right now that I should cover. We're coming out in the holidays, so usually I take breaks or I do some like year-end stuff. I'll probably make a saying something nice about every main pop girl video. I want to make that a yearly series. I did one last year because 2024 was such an amazing year in pop music. I had to do it, so I'm going to do it again because I love pop music and I keep up with all the pop girls. And yeah, so that's kind of a year end. I'm just waiting for Demi Lovato to release this Friday. And after that, I think I'll be ready to record that in the near future. So that's the only thing I have planned this year. Everything I'm watching right now is kind of like not great commentary stuff. It's like I'm watching Dancing with the Stars. Fun. Team Robert Irwin. Team Jordan Childs. I mean, Whitney from Mormon Wives. Oh my God, Mormon Wives. Oh my God, I forgot. That's coming out in November. Oh, God. I'm debating on that one because I made a video for last season and the comments were just like, I don't know. It was just like a lot. And I was like, I don't care. And it's just kind of weird. I mean, I watch it. Just like everyone else. I'm into it. But I don't know. I don't know the community that watches it. Or maybe it's just so huge that it's just like, I don't know. There's just like a lot of nastiness in the fandom. And it's weird how different shows, like different fandoms, have different nastiness. Like the Love is Blind fandom is honestly really chill and cool. And like, I don't know. Like critical thinking, like y'all, write good, interesting critiques in the comments and everything. But the Mormon Wives one was just like, oh my God, I'm scared. So we'll see. I'll be watching, but I don't know, y'all. But yeah, anything else, I'm open to watching more things or pop culture things going on. As holiday times, kind of like dry times for TV, but yeah, I'm watching Dancing with the Stars and Survivor. I'm always watching Survivor, but New Era, it's not that exciting. Also, my audience isn't really Survivor heads that much, which is fine. It kind of feels like it's not my expertise to cover Survivor. I haven't seen every single season. I'm a big fan, but it's not like my tea to cover it as in depth unless something big happens. So yeah, I'm kind of like not watching anything commentary worthy. So taking suggestions. But I appreciate y'all being here. Oh, UK Celebrity Traders is running. Oh my God. I need to get on that. I saw Alan Carr is really funny. And he's really funny. I mean, I've seen him in like Drag Race. So that's fun. And then we're gonna, we'll probably get Traders US like in January. So once January comes, the TV starts back up. I'm very excited for the next season of Traders because Monet Exchange is there. Like, so many people are there that are going to be interesting. I love Traders, of course. Not that I'm like talking like I cover Traders. I don't really cover Traders. I did like one live stream about it last season. But I love it. Whatever. But it's not about what I cover or what I don't. I'm just excited to watch it. But yeah, thanks so much for being along on this ride. I hope you all have a good night, a good week, and I will see you right here next week, this time next week, for the uneventful reunion. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks very much for being in the chat. Meredith, Miss Anita, Vanetta, Blah Bible, Mary, everybody. That's all. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed. I really appreciate it. And you can follow me at Miscellaneous to keep up with me. Even though I've been really bad about posting, I forgot to post that I was streaming tonight. Oops. But if I'm going to post somewhere, it's there. Or turn on the bell notification. That's honestly the best way. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.